we've heard reports about Astros players wearing buzzers underneath their uniforms. That's how they're getting the signal, what pitch is coming. I know the commissioner's office looked into this and they determined there was nothing to it. Can you assure us there were no buzzers or anything like that being used?
The commissioner, we got investigated for 3 months, and the commissioner's office did as thorough an investigation as anyone could imagine was possible. I mean, I know he mentioned the emails and the texts and the messages, and I believe them.
And he drives it into right center field, hit a ton. This baby is way back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. And today, gonna talk about the Houston Astros a little more and the cheating scandal. Haven't been covering it in depth. Honestly, just ready to move past that whole thing and get to real baseball. And you know, that's what it's all about. But honestly, it's such a big story. And I watched that AJ Hinch interview. I do have some thoughts on that. And more is actually coming out about it. I said I wouldn't talk about it unless more came out. And more has come out as far as how they went about stealing signs at the beginning, how it evolved into the in-depth sign stealing scandal that it was. And we now know that the GM, Jeff Luhnow, probably knew more than he acted like he knew, which is honestly not a big surprise. But AJ Hinch, who's been suspended for a year and then fired, AJ Hinch sat down with MLB Network. At first I'm like, wow, cool. But even when I saw the little trailer for the interview and they showed a sample question and a sample answer, I said, ooh, Tom Verducci asking the question, I said, ooh, that is a political answer. That is a non-answer. I got a feeling this is going to be a big nothing interview. Honestly, that's what I saw. A big nothing interview. Very, very, very little information. And I left the interview disappointed. Not that I was in the interview. I left the viewing of the interview disappointed. I'm going to talk about some of the questions that were answered. I'm going to say basically what AJ Hinch said. Excuse me if it's not word for word, but I'm going to basically tell you what AJ Hinch said, and I'm going to give a version of what could have been said that I would have respected a little bit more. And again, I want to say up front, he sat down, he showed his face, and he gave an interview. I believe the interview was very much planned. I believe he knew what was going to be asked so he could prepare his answers. I believe the whole thing was I believe MLB Network worked with him because they wanted the interview, and they definitely worked with him. It wasn't a thing like, hey, we're going to ask you whatever we want and be ready. I highly doubt that. I think it was very planned out. Is the World Series title of the Astros World Series 2017 title tainted? Is it tainted? And he basically said, it's a fair question. People are going to have to come up with their own conclusions. What's your opinion? Is it tainted or not? If you don't think it is, say it's not. At least it's an answer. I'd have respected him more if he'd have said, no, I don't believe it is tainted. I think we worked our asses off that season, and I think we went out and we won that title. I know that we didn't do everything right during the year, and I know that we stole signs electronically, and we're ready to face that, and we're facing that punishment, and I'm facing that punishment right now. But I do not believe that our title was tainted. At least, hey, answer the question clearly. Then they asked how much of an advantage the Astros got from knowing the signs. AJ Hinch played baseball. AJ Hinch has over 30 career home runs at the big league level. The guy knew how to swing a bat. The guy knows how to play the game. He realizes the advantage you get if you know what pitch is coming. I realize that advantage, and I never played professional baseball, but I played at a high enough level to realize the advantage to knowing what pitch is coming. His answer was something like, I can't quite pinpoint what advantages may have been or may not have been, but we did it to ourselves. That's our own fault. Well, You thank you for taking blame and for taking ownership. You've done this already, but we're asking a specific question. He played the game. I would have respected an answer like, you don't have to come out and say it's a huge advantage, but admit it. Say it's an advantage. It's an advantage. You still got to hit the ball, but it's an advantage. To know what pitch is coming, it definitely helps. If I knew what pitch was coming in my career, I probably would have had a much longer, much more successful big league career. Wow. If he said that, I'd have said, that's an answer right there. He's being honest. It helps. It's huge to know the sign. You were asked, he danced around it. And then the one that really got me was this very simple question. Tom Verducci asks AJ Hinch, there were buzzers. There are talk of buzzers possibly being used. And by the way, if you've seen the Jose Altuve video, it's very suspicious. I didn't put out any videos on it. I'm not going to go too deep into that because the commissioner's report did clear them of that and say there was no evidence of buzzers being used. That was it for me. I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to go into the buzzers thing. I'm not going to show that video of Altuve not wanting to get his jersey torn. It looked suspicious. Then he runs into the clubhouse. It looked really, really weird. But you know what? The commissioner's office did the report and said no evidence of that. So you know what? I'm not going to mess with the Astros or the Astros fans about that whole deal. I'll let other YouTubers do that. I'll let other people on Twitter do that. And I'm going to leave that alone until now, because AJ Hinch was asked specifically, can you assure us that there were no buzzers or anything like that being used? And you know what AJ Hinch responded? What would a normal person respond in that position? You're in big trouble. You've gotten suspended. All this. AJ Hinch is not above saying that is ridiculous. That's a joke. He did that when the Yankees, during the Yankees series in 2019, when they asked about the Yankees were saying that there were flashing lights and things. And he said, it's an absolute joke. It's laughable. And he was very confident when he said that. So what's his response when asked about the buzzers? Don't you think if he knows there was no buzzers or anything of the sort, he would say, absolutely not. There were no buzzers at all. Or at a minimum say, to my knowledge, absolutely not. I do not know anything about buzzers. That did not happen with the team. Yes, there was trash can banging. Yes, absolutely. We stole signs electronically and transmitted them to the batter. But buzzers? No, we did not have buzzers. Instead, he said, the commissioner's office did a full investigation. They did a very thorough investigation, and I believe it. You believe their investigation on you? It's not your place to believe it or not. You know the investigation was on you and your team. You don't tell me whether you believe their investigation. Tell me what's up. We're asking you specifically, was there buzzers? We understand you were cleared in the investigation. Congratulations on that, but we're wanting you to assure us there were no buzzers. All you had to do was say, hell no, there's no buzzers. You don't have to say it like that, but just say, no, there were no buzzers. We did not use buzzers. If he'd have said that, I'd have been like, no buzzers. He said early on he was doing this to show, instead of just putting out a statement, he wanted to show a face to go along with that and answer some questions. And I thought, that's great, man. That's awesome, but didn't really answer the questions like I would have liked. And I'm not saying I know what the answer should have been. I'm just saying, instead of that's a great question, that's a fair question, we got to own that, and just dancing around the questions. I know what dancing around the question. This guy looked like a freaking president. He looked like a politician, like a freaking very skilled politician. When asked the most obvious question, why didn't you stop it? You damaged the monitor twice, which he took full credit for. Why didn't you stop it? How do you not hold a team meeting or something and say, guys, knock it off? And that's tough to answer. I'll give him that. He said, I wish I did. Which didn't really answer the question either. But what is the answer? What are you supposed to say? Because I'm a little bitch? You know, I was scared. I'm a coward. You know, they're a bunch of big guys. You know, they could beat me up. What was I supposed to do? Good luck in landing a big league managing job after saying that. So yeah, I don't know if there was a way to answer that honestly, other than to say I just failed right there. At that time I didn't have what it takes, but I guarantee you in the future I will. Nothing like that will ever happen again on my watch. When something's not going the way I want, I'm going to make it be known. When players are behaving in a way that's not right, I'm going to make it be known in the future if I ever am fortunate enough to get an opportunity to manage at the big leagues. But I failed this time. I completely failed, and I blew it for the team, for the players, for the fans, and I apologize for that because I completely dropped the ball big time. There you go. That would have worked. Instead, I wish I did. I wish I did. I wish I did. He put it out there. He showed up. They prepped that interview clearly. It was very, very, very underwhelming. I mean, I did not get any kind of answer I was looking for in that interview. It felt very political. It felt like he danced around the answers. It was not satisfactory in my opinion. Not what I was looking for there. Doesn't necessarily mean he's a terrible person or anything like that. I'm not saying that. He probably was against the cheating. That seems to be what's going on here, that he was against it. He wasn't one of the masterminds, but he didn't have what it takes to stop it. That's simply the truth, and I wish he was just a little more forthcoming in this interview, a lot more forthcoming, honestly. Would have felt a lot better to me, and if I was in charge of a big league team, I would have been more likely to give him a job if I felt like he was being honest, more forthright, and not trying to dance around questions, because that's what it felt like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm being too hard on him, but you know what? That's what I saw. Y'all have a great day. Hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description below. Lot to talk about. The Mookie Betts deal has gone through reportedly. It's actually going to go to the Dodgers. I'm not even so sure that's true yet. I got to double check that because that whole thing has been nuts. And apparently Gratterall's not even going to the Red Sox. He's going to the Dodgers now in that deal. And the Jock Peterson deal is dead now. I don't even know what's going on there. I got to look into that, make a video on that as soon as I can. So y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's 5